All right, we're going to move now to our top story of the day. We're moving to a story in Hyderabad. Remember, the situation in Hyderabad is getting more and more intense, with protests continuing against the BJP MLA T. RajaSingh. T. RajaSingh had on Monday made comments that were considered very controversial and very derogatory against Prophet Muhammad. He'd made these comments on a video, but on Monday you saw the start of protests against him across old Hyderabad. Now, yesterday we saw the BJP MLA arrested early in the morning by police. However, the court did not give the police remand of T. RajaSingh. T. RajaSingh was allowed to go home. That's why these protests continue in various parts of Hyderabad. Protesters are demanding that he be arrested. Protesters are also demanding that the BJP, which has just suspended their BJP MLA, they've not in any way expelled him. Protesters are demanding that the BJP also take stricter actions against him. Remember, elections are set to take place in Telangana in just a few months from now. So the BJP is attempting to tread very, very carefully with this entire controversy. Now, we're going to connect with my colleague Swastika. She is on the ground in Hyderabad. We'll have her in just a second with us right here on the show to understand more about this entire controversy. One thing it is important to note is as the arrest took place early in the morning yesterday, Swastika, my colleague on the ground, was very clear in telling us that the BJP has told their leadership in the state not to make any comments defending this leader. So the BJP has maintained their distance very much from this leader. The leader that we are talking about, T. RajaSingh, he is a very popular MLA from the area. He is the only leader who got re-elected in elections in 2018 across the state. It's not just that, he also is a controversial leader. He's had 75 FIRs against him. He's been banned by Facebook in the past. My colleague Swastika is with us right now, live from Hyderabad, where the protests are taking place. Swastika, bring us up to date. We spoke to you an hour ago. The protests were running high, tensions were running high. Does it remain very much the same situation right now?
If you could repeat your question, please.
Swastika, I wanted to ask you if tensions remain as high as they were an hour ago.
Well, the protest is continuing, and as of now, protesters say that there is going to be no let-up unless RajaSingh is punished, and they want him to be arrested immediately. In fact, BJ Venkatesh is getting you those visuals where you can see that the protesters have been only swelling in number. In fact, we came here first, and then initially when we started reporting from the spot, slowly the crowd started to trickle in, and the protesters have been continuously raising slogans against RajaSingh, and have also been raising some controversial slogans. And in fact, effigy of RajaSingh was burnt, his posters were teared down, and then here you can see that they are also raising slogans and have sat on a dharna. Meanwhile, let me give you a sense of what is happening in the other part of this area. The Rapid Action Force is going to be pumped in as we speak, and police is waiting for extra police enforcement to come here to just ease down the situation. The local coordinator here belonging to the MIM party has also come here. His name is Mustafa, and he is having or trying to have a dialogue with the protesters, urging them to ease down. Remember, the stand that has been taken by Asaduddin Owaisi's MIM party is that they don't want any kind of violence in the city of Hyderabad. Even when questioned about the slogans that are being raised, he said that those slogans are highly condemnable. Law will take its own course, and we do not want any member from the Muslim community to raise slogans and divert or dilute the entire issue. But despite requests put forth by Asaduddin Owaisi, remember, here slogans are continuing, and right now we have the local MIM corporator here busy making calls right after he arrived here. He's been trying to speak to the police and also, I believe, the local leaders to calm the tempers down here. But protesters say they're not going to stop unless there is a complete action against RajaSingh. They're completely disappointed with the fact that he was arrested and then allowed to go on bail. They say that the Prophet was insulted, the entire Muslim community which lives harmoniously in a city like Hyderabad, the social fabric politics of BJP, and they say that they're not going to stop unless there is any concrete action against RajaSingh. So yeah.
Swastika, could you now also update us on the BJP? I know that since yesterday you've been telling us that the BJP has been keen to distance themselves from this leader. At the same time, when we spoke to BJP leaders on the show, they said that they believed enough action had been taken against him. Swastika, on the ground, what is the BJP telling its state unit?
I'm going to quickly go across to a local leader here. Sir, you're the coordinator of the area. We are seeing protests happening continuously. What would you appeal to the people here?
हाँ मैडम, इन लोग का मुतालबा है इसको अरेस्ट करना चाहिए। अगर नुपुर शर्मा के खिलाफ कानूनी कार्रवाई अगर होती तो ये हरकत नहीं होती थी। नुपुर शर्मा को पार्टी से सस्पेंड करे बीजेपी, लेकिन कानूनी कार्रवाई नहीं हुई उसके खिलाफ। अगर उसके खिलाफ कानूनी कार्रवाई होती तो ये राजा सिंह ऐसी हरकत नहीं करता था। पब्लिक का डिमांड है कि उसको कड़ी से कड़ी सज़ा मिले, उसको कानूनी जो सज़ा मिल सकती है वो उसको मिले, वो जेल जाए, उसको सबक मिले।
लेकिन आप MIM के लीडर हो यहाँ पे, और हम देख रहे हैं कि जायज़ सी बात है कि लोग गुस्से में हैं, लेकिन ये जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन है वो अफेक्ट हो रहा है। इसके बारे में आप क्या करेंगे? असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जी ने खुद अपील किया था कि लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए।
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर कंट्रोल में रहना ही बल्कि पीस प्रोटेस्ट करें ना मैडम। हम गाड़ियों को यहाँ पे रोड का फ्लो बढ़ जाता है ट्रैफिक का, इसलिए हम बाजू करने की कोशिश करें सब मिलके, क्योंकि हमारे पास हमारा मकसद पीस प्रोटेस्ट करना है। किसी को रास्ता चलने वाले को तकलीफ पहुंचना नहीं है हमारा मकसद।
कब तक प्रोटेस्ट चलेगा?
इंशाल्लाह अभी हम 10-15 मिनट में इन लोग को बाजू करने की कोशिश करेंगे, हम सब मिलके।
सर, मेरा आखिरी सवाल, अभी बहुत सारे कंट्रोवर्शियल स्लोगन्स भी उठाया जा रहा है जिसके खिलाफ MIM चीफ असदुद्दीन ओवैसी ने कहा, अपील किया था कि स्लोगन्स ना उठाए। इसके बावजूद मैं सुबह से हूँ यहाँ पे, काफी सारे स्लोगन सुनाई दे रहे हैं। इसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
मैं समझा नहीं मैडम, आप क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं?
सर, तन से जुदा स्लोगन उठाया जा रहा है।
हम आके एक्सप्लेन किया ना मैडम, मैं भी ऐसे नारे मत लगाइए।
यहाँ पे नारे सुबह से चल रहे हैं सर।
मैडम देखिए, कुछ जाहिल किस्म के बच्चे रहते हैं वो लगाते हैं, तो मैक्सिमम बच्चे नहीं लगा रहे वैसे नारे। हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो ना कानून के दायरे में रह के प्रोटेस्ट करे, पीस प्रोटेस्ट करे।
क्या MIM ये स्लोगन को कंडेम करती है?
हाँ बिल्कुल कंडेम करती, सारी आवाम कंडेम करती है प्रोटेस्ट ये अल्फाज को।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर हमसे बात करने के लिए। इनफैक्ट वी जस्ट हैड अ वर्ड विद MIM coordinator here who is condemning the slogans that are being raised, and who is also in fact said that he's going to appeal to people not to raise the slogans. They have distanced himself from the slogans that are being raised here, and he's also said that this is a peaceful protest and efforts are underway to move away the protesters to a side by-lane where they can sit and protest. But for now, rapid action force is coming in, Toya.